welcome to my channel. This is a message that is going to resonate to those that feel, I don't know, there was a few things. Slytherin was a thing, and I only say that, and it wasn't, I'm just going to share an experience before I move into any cards. Earlier today, I was outside, and I was just hanging out with my bird. I had my cockatiel in my hands, and I was sitting down, and I was very relaxed, and then a grass snake appeared, and it was very beautiful. It was just a simple, beautiful grass snake, and it, moved to a space where it was, actually have an animal of mine that I had lost tragically because of external unfortunate influences that were out of my control. And the snake just happened to just move in front of where I was and just stay there, and it was just very beautiful, like I say, and you could just tell it was just it was sensing the energy around it. And I even got up, and after a long while, it just stayed in one spot. It did not move. It just stayed in one spot. And the other part of it was, okay, this is the other part of it. My daughter was in the house, and she was listening to different things. And as soon as I thought of Slytherin for some reason, this thought of Slytherin came to mind. And then my daughter has, all of a sudden I hear the soundtrack to Harry Potter come on, like instantaneously as I think Slytherin, right? And I do these spirit animal messages on a daily basis. So it was just this very synchronistic energy. And then I studied architecture and design for 3 years. I have an associate's actually in interior design, and I started getting these thoughts of houses, of houses that inspired me, that were houses that were of also like the natural world. And Frank Lloyd Wright came to mind, and can't remember the name of the house off the top of my head right now. However, there was this, and then with the grass snake, I look it up, and it has this, as I went into this reading, and it speaks of this guardian of your house, right? And then it was like household protection, fertility, wisdom, transformation, good fortune, shed skin, rebirth, guardian of home, like I said. And then as I was doing the short to this, the swan Grace came out, but it immediately flew to the floor. So instead of Grace, the white swan, and honestly, just a couple of days, I don't even know how many days ago now, I saw a black swan on a video for the first time ever in my life. Honestly, I hadn't ever seen one before, and it was, to me, it's like it's like the spirit animal for the revealing of, the shadow side of self, the side of self that, people, kind of shy away from or squirm away from or don't perceive, because it's, it's like, I kind of see it as a way of almost peripheral vision on a level. Instead of peripheral vision for your actual eyes, it's peripheral vision of your inner eye, your higher eyes, where you see reality, and And it's a passion, I feel, for someone coming, where there's some passion. You're naturally psychic. So let's just move into the cards now. So then there was, the first card I had pulled up was Polar Bear Mystic. Know that challenges make you stronger. Have faith when you face adversity. Take time to rest, dream, and renew your strength. Embrace your psychic abilities. You carry the shaman within. And when I look at this card right now, it looks like it's a door. To me, it looks like a doorway. And it looks like a doorway that needs like a special key. Like it doesn't have like a normal key. Like to open this door, you need like a special, like, you know, if this was a key and it's a face, you would need like a face key to turn it and open this door. So it's like this door is meant for you, because it's almost like I think of our phones when we want to get into something that's so only for us, and you can get your face scanned, and that's how you unlock it, right? So it's kind of like that, only I feel like this is something more to do with it's like your home, maybe, or the home of self. But no, this is like the guardian of home is very loud into this reading, because then I'll read to you more about the polar bear, and you'll understand why I say that. So Polar Bear Mystic: strength, adaptability, patience, endurance, survival, fearless, solitary, psychic, traveler, dreams, mysticism, spirit helper. And that was something that really spoke out to me, was the spirit helper. And then the next words, shaman's ally. So it's almost like you're getting you have a special guardian coming in right now for you. What would that be? And I think of Harry Potter right now. Your familiar, I guess, because I think of a familiar in this higher way, where it would be maybe a being, and it's something to do with your home. Because again, there was I was attracted to today of this sacred space. So personal choice is next. Close your eyes. What animal do you imagine? What strengths are they known for? What wisdom do they share? Embrace these qualities. So personal choice. What animal comes to mind? I would do, research of the characteristics of the animal. You can look up spiritual meaning of the animal, and then just read through, see what, sparks that intuition through resonance, because you're very psychic already. You know thyself. You probably, I'm not going to speculate. You yourself may be like a helper to others through your gifts. And then we have Cougar Assertive. In silence, you find power. Claim your leadership role and take action. You know where to go and what to do. You have the courage and confidence to succeed. And then this card I love, because it looks like the key to this door. See how it's a face? I mean, it's not perfect, obviously, but it's a face. And then this, at one time I thought it was a badge, but for this case, it really gives this, like, this is the door, this is the key, this is this version of you, of assertive energy. This is you embodying your assertive energy. And it's like you're, through your work, opening a door that's meant for you. And it's like you shift realities through maybe special work you're doing, where you also have now a special familiar that is not your average familiar. And then an owl was very prominent today too. The energy of the owl, which is this wisdom, right? The magic. It's like a symbol to be in flow with the natural world, really. So, because it's that adventurer of the unseen world, right? I feel the journeyer. Truth seeker, assertive, quest for truth. We have the King of Swords, or no, Knight of Swords, I'm sorry. So, truth seeker, this is who you are right now. This is something that you embody. I think of this sword and how we wield the sword. And if you're a truth seeker and a truth wielder, and in this assertive way, you know, you do this work on yourself so that you know when you speak to people and you know, speak of things that are in that higher sight peripheral vision, you speak with a very clear understanding of what you're saying, because this is a passion of yours. And then, what was that? The crow. The crow, is that a crow? Or is that a raven? No. I think it's a raven. Seeing between the realms in this very fluid-like way, almost like that creature. Like you are you're able to shift in this easier way. A gift to this wisdom being brought into the world. To our expansion, growth, 3 of Wands. And I think of this woodpecker, the creature itself, when it's going after something inside the wood, it's very persistent, and it will just hone in on what it's, you know, working on, and just, you know, until it gets what it's working towards. And then, you know, its prize is its, you know, snack, or, you know, whatever. And that's this growth that you're embodying, and it's the momentum is forward. I see these ships. It's like you see the ships are coming in, and there you are persistently, you know, with your passion. And then the goal, the destiny, is the moon, which in this case, you are the revealer of the illusions, of the dreams, of the things that we don't see. Because you're not afraid of that side of yourself, or so much pushes that fear within self, just because of what facing that sometimes can trigger. In the distant past, there was a falling away, something broke down, something crumbled, moving, oh wait. But then we have the Six of Swords. You moving forward. I see how this I see these, you know, what is this? A flying squirrel. And these swords seem like they're gonna block the way of the flying squirrel, or if the flying squirrel lands on any of this, you know, it's gonna wound itself, right? But you're moving forward in this swift way, right through, because you're on a healing journey. So it's like those things that could potentially get you or try, it's like it will go into the natural world in this way, where it's like the world moves around you in this fluid way, where you don't take, like, things don't happen to you unless they're like meant to, I feel, is what it is also. So, and I think that you as a person in this state would know that, and also know that, you know, when anything falls away, it's meant to, you know, reset you to a rebirth of self of some sort. And right now it could be that you're going through this like introspection time to just, which maybe is triggering more work into your passion, which is this revealer of truth, quest for truth. Right now, you, in this future, there's like a future influence, is this long-term abundance, steady progress. So moving into the future, you know, you're solidly working on progress, abundance. You've shifted to out of, you know, away from the crumble. You did your journey through yourself, and, you know, moving into the future, you're in this long-term abundance, steady progress space. And then we have the Page of Swords. So this enthusiasm, eager to learn. I see this road runner, you know, running down. You have this great deal of momentum towards your passions, towards any great success. Okay? And then the swords, you are swiftly able to be that messenger. Okay, that's another thought. That's what I was thinking of. Because page is like the messenger, and it's the swords. So you're wielding your sword as this messenger. And I see this roadrunner. So it's like your messages are coming out faster. You're wielding your sword of truth, of your words, in this very assertive, bold way. Confidence. You know, it's a page, yes, but I feel like that's more to speak of its role, because knight is like saving, where Paige is the messenger, and sometimes it's like people can choose to listen or not, and it's like what you resonate to, what is what you're able to hear. Justice. You're ready to get back to work. Movement. I feel like it feels like justice itself. Like, I think of how grateful we are when after we had a crumble, like I think for, just for myself, in a reflection of things I've experienced. And how when I had a crumble, I tried to use my insight and intuition as to why it happened, face myself as to how it got to that point and why the shift had to happen, why I called it in for myself. And then work on that bridge over everything. And then, when you're ready to reassert yourself to everything, and when you are, it's so authentic because you utilize that space in a healthy way. And usually that time of, during a breakdown of some sort, is when more of ourself is actually downloaded and revealed, because it's almost like all of the energy you would be putting into something was maybe dampened on a level, but then, you build the bridge through, what had shifted, and then all of a sudden, your energy for assertive and confidence and boldness and knowing. And I think about how, if you're having this guidance from a possible, house guardian, this house guardian is here to assist you. You unlocked something that was meant for you somehow through your own work. You unlocked something through your own work that brought a special guardian to work beside you also. Which then we have the Eight of Wands, which brings us more momentum, right? It's about the momentum. Ready to get to work. Like I was said, this is your emotions. And there's this, and your momentum is so much greater because of the protection and assistance you have around you. And this is meant for you. You are in vibration of it. That's why it's like a face. Only you have the key to this door. And I feel like there's something to do with your house being a sacred house, like a sacred site, which keeps you tapped into the natural world. Perhaps, I want to say easier. And I think of how architecture, how a building is built certain ways, and how it's like a vibration, right? Certain houses can be built into in a way where their vibration itself is this higher vibrational energy. And like sometimes original houses or of areas can be very powerful because of those people were really working with the natural world in this more unconscious way, maybe, but not really, because it wasn't it was maybe more to self, natural practitioners who trusted that inner self, that unity consciousness that is connected to all of these realms of light too. And then we have the Two of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles. Choice, future growth, patience. So future plans and this growth in like your pentacles in your life. There's this growth, like consistent growth. And I see this as like your path, right? This creature is coming up to the surface to look at this path that is on land, and it's like your unconscious is setting you up to see a path. I think about how this creature kind of reminds me of an iceberg, where, you know, how we use that metaphor of an iceberg, you know, we only have so much consciousness above water and then all of this stuff under the water. Well, in this case, it's like these eyes are above water, which could be the consciousness symbolism, and then the creature is also underwater, which is the unconscious, and it's coming up to shore to point you down this path, which is to lead to this expansion of growth, and growth in this more patient way, which is good, because you're also more productive, is what I feel too. It's like you're even more productive, you're even more expansive, you're anything that you would want to be working on has the momentum that it would want to have. And it was because of this shift recently, and this new guardian that's with you, that is there to protect you through work that you're meant to do in this life. And we have other spirit animals. We have frog. Frog, adapt and survive by accepting the inevitable and seizing potential. And I think of frog as the symbolism also for prosperity, leaps of faith, you know, inspired action. And then we have mountain goat, fighting for love or ardent declarations may hide unfaithfulness. For this, I feel like this is more speaking of this greatness, maybe. No, this the work, the grunt work is coming to mind, that it took to get to where, the grunt work that it takes to be this greatness. And you are this like goat, just jumping ledge to ledge up those mountains of great wisdom. There's more to it, but I can't think of what it is. It's like the way you feel, your senses. Something about your senses. Listen to your intuition to receive a message from the world of spirit. Raven. Listen to your intuition to receive a message from the world of spirit. And raven are messengers. That's what they are. Incredible creatures. They can see the things that we cannot. They appear, I feel, when the spirit world is trying to communicate with us. in a more direct way. And then I will seek out deeper knowledge to see through deception. And seek out deeper knowledge is something I embody myself in. That's something that really, like tarot, I started when I was a young child, and it took, at first it was meditation and me just picking up a pack of cards to, you know, meditation that I would never close the meditation. It would be to open your third eye and see yourself in your aura, and there was the ending, and I would never close. And then I didn't understand, you know, why I could hear the voice, and that connection to the all was so beautiful to me, especially because of my life, that it kept me as that seeker of wisdom, because I felt like there was so much to know about ourselves that wasn't just in, you know, sacred books. I felt like there was things that it just didn't give us the full understanding of ourselves, you know, because if it even says in so many sacred texts that, you know, the truth is within us, the sacredness of that is of a being that we find to be God is not outside of ourselves, it is within ourselves. And if you're praying outside of yourself, you're sending that love and vibration externally, right? When it clearly says in any of religious texts, depending on what you believe in, that that entity is within you. So you should be praying to that energy, to yourself, and knowing that you also have this intuition, you have this voice that is the connection to the all. And, you know, knowing that there is realms of light, and not being so closed-minded to this physical dimension of reality, and maybe expanding through wisdom, expanding through seeking truth that is of your peripheral vision, of your higher sight, because we all have this intuition, we all have this, you know, clearing your energy, something I never did until I was older. And I'm sorry I'm not looking at the camera, but this is keeping me from not losing my track of thought. But not giving, finally clearing my chakras. Once I realized I was constantly getting attachments to energy. You know, we don't realize that we have an energy body it's like when you work out, we have a physical body to take care of, right? Well, we are actually an energy body that we perceive it to be this physical body, right? We are inside our soul. It's like people think, you know, if you think that the soul is inside the body, but no, we are inside of it, and we are this dense formation. And you think of quantum physics and quantum mechanics, and how we are these, you know, actually very small little bits that don't even touch each other, and we aren't even of this solid matter, but we perceive it as solid, because of the way that, you know, the gravity or the density of our beings that brings it all together. It's like this magic, like being a human being, being alive, being an animal, being this table, being this crystal, is this form of magic that the all does. Like you think about, this is like the all made this, the all made the table, the all made me, the all made you, the all made every creature, the all made everything. Any light being, anything, any being that you perceive as your, you know, spiritual leader, remember that spiritual leader is trying to let us know that that spiritual expansiveness, that height is not just to the pure. That know that they had those sacrifices to show you that you are just as capable of being that kind of a light, of being of that tune of self, to know thyself and to be a seeker of truth, and not to just blindly follow. Because if you're blindly following, then you could be shorting yourself of greater wisdom simply by not seeking more truth. Being open-minded and not narrow-minded, because when you're narrow-minded, you can't perceive anything outside of your personal beliefs. It's okay to keep your beliefs. However, do the research, keep being that seeker of truth, seeker of wisdom, because then you are in that state of a body of know thyself, and you don't judge. You can listen to what someone else perceives to be true, and not try to shift their beliefs, because everybody, you perceive that everybody has their own personal journey to walk as far as beliefs, because we are all there's so much that is a personal journey when it comes to spirituality and religion. And especially in this day and age where we can actually get a chance to learn that part of ourselves without fear. And if anyone tries to diminish that know thyself path simply because they don't understand your path, or if somebody does, like if I think of a comment I just had in my short, you have compassion for those people that don't perceive you clearly, because it's not for them to see you clearly. If they do, that's through resonation, that's through reflection, that's through matching of minds. Outside of that stuff is not for you. It's for them to deal with. And one great thing is I've worked on myself long enough to just be able to put that kind of stuff back on other people and leave my stuff with me, because I'm on my own journey just like anyone else. I just would like to say this was a really interesting reading. And for the last card, I would like to do one of these cards, which is Living with a Feathered Heart. The 42 Ideals of Ma'at in Daily Life. And another thing is I have this wand that I got from Disney when I went and I saw the Harry Potter world that they have in Florida, Orlando, Florida. And I didn't even deliberately put this on the table. It just, one baby happenstance after another, and it ended up right here beside me tonight. And then I had the moment earlier with the snake, and then Harry Potter. And another thing I was thinking about for Harry Potter, the movies, is how they have like the Sorcerer's Stone, and then when they go into the one movie and there's the door, or the what is it, the gate to, what is that, because they go to the bank, right, this special bank with the goblins, right, and they go for the Sorcerer's Stone, and the cage, or the door, right, has a number on it. And I always wondered about like the numbers in movies as far as like frequencies and doorways to unlock things. And not to say that that number had some significance, but I wondered about that doorway, the number that was shown for that specific thing. And I looked it up to see if it was a frequency that was of hertz that you could hear. And I don't know what creates that sound exactly, but it was a frequency that you could listen to, which I thought was wild. I speak positively to others. So I speak positively to others. So 17, which is 8, which I think of the infinity symbol. I speak positively of others. I create as I speak is the vague interpretation of abracadabra, a magical word. Abracadabra. Abracadabra. Okay, sorry, I had to do it. A magical word synonymous with mystery and mysticism. Students of esoteric philosophy may find themselves familiar with the sacred nature of the word and the role that sound and vibration play in creation. Holy cannoli and Batman. Edgar Cayce once stated, "The mind is the builder, but the word perhaps is the designer." In the book Initiation, Human and Solar by Alice A. Bailey, the power of words is perceived to be fivefold, in that each word has varying creative degrees within its essence. They possess color, tone, form, energy, or activity, and the nature of the ensouling life, self-conscious or unconscious, God, man, or diva. When applying an ideal such as I speak positively of others, one may turn to the philosophy looking at the words you weave as a series of soundscapes that shape perception and erect the architecture in which you house your reality. In speaking positively of others, you acknowledge the connection between yourself and the other. Your projection is a reflection, and by honoring each soul as a mirror of the spirit, the all, through your words, you remain in harmony, in perpetual balance with creation. Positive words tickle the heart, illuminate the aura, compliments are constructive, and kindness is contagious. How you speak to others will be mirrored back in how others speak to you, and how you speak of others will echo through the ripples of time and the shape of things to come. That was really beautiful. Scarab and the feather. Well, I pray this message reaches the right people. I set that intention that this message reaches the right people. And thank you for listening, and have a beautiful life.